Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. Welcome to the Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. Today is Flashback Friday, a feature in which I republish one of my earlier videos you might not have seen that contains really important coping strategies that will help you attain a better mood. Now here's today's video. The title of today's video is it hard for you to ask for help? Well, if you're a man, it is, and you're trying to get directions, I suppose. But before we go into that, we have our two puns to begin the show. The first one continues on the theme of food in restaurants that we've been doing the last two videos. Did you hear about the cannibal who's late for dinner? He got the cold shoulder. How about this one? This is not a food joke. My wonderful videographer, Joshin, just told me this. The other day, I saw a man spill a box of Scrabble letters on the road. I said, "What's the word on the street?" All right, so what is today's video? It's called, Is It Hard for You to Ask for Help? Now, in one of my videos, popular videos, and in my book, Healing from Depression, I talked about the three pillars of mental health recovery. First, number one, set the intention to heal. State a vision of how you want to be if you were free from depression and anxiety. Number two, reach out for support. And number three, treat your symptoms using a combination of mutually supportive therapies. Anyone who's recovered from depression or anxiety, they've done all these three things. But the most critical piece of that three-pillar sequence is number two, reaching out for support. The reason it's so important to ask for help when you're severely depressed is that the weight of the illness is so strong and so powerful, very few people can bear it on their own. It's overwhelming. And yet, despite this, many people with depression don't ask for help. They do the opposite. They isolate. Now, why is this? To begin, people with depression tend to be introverts. They feel more at home in their own company than in the company of others. Introverts also tend to be shy. When I was young, oh my God, I was so shy. It was really difficult for me to be around people, and that's the case with many people with depression. Matter of fact, it can get so bad, sometimes they get social anxiety, which can be overcome. I did a video on it, which I will post in the information below. Extroverts, on the other hand, find that when they're around people, they feel energized, they feel pleasure. So naturally, if an extrovert is suffering, it's going to be pretty easy for them to reach out and ask for help. Second, some people were raised or taught to believe they should be able to solve their problems on their own. They should be independent, self-sufficient. Who needs other people's help? As a matter of fact, asking for help is a sign of weakness. Now, I think this is much more the case with men. Remember growing up, I was told in the 50s and 60s, big boys don't cry, right? Don't show your feelings. Don't let anybody know you're hurting. And so the belief that reaching out for help is a sign of weakness or being ashamed of needing help, another reason why people don't ask. Third, some people don't ask for help because they feel undeserving. They say to themselves, why would anybody want to help a wretch like me? Or I'm a loser, I don't deserve help. Well, these feelings of worthlessness and self-contempt are unfortunately one of the major signs of depression. I don't know why. It's sort of like having an autoimmune disease of the soul. You turn on yourself, and that always brings me great sadness. Now, I think, and I know, that a lot of this happens because of negative childhood experience, early abuse, neglect, abandonment. If you're loved and cared for, you're not going to have beliefs like this. But here's the good news. When you're an adult, you have a second chance. You can go back and change those old beliefs and put new ones in their place. Matter of fact, I did a video on this called Healing Negative Core Beliefs, my friend Joshin. That was the first video we did many years ago in 2013. And it still gets a lot of good views. Why? Because a lot of people suffer from this negative beliefs from childhood, and it's really important to try to, change them if you want to get the help you need. One of my favorite ways to change or at least respond to negative self-talk that so often happens when people are depressed is through affirmations. I'm going to read to you now some common things that people say to themselves when they don't feel worthy of support and how an affirmation can be used to reply to it. So, if you say to yourself, I don't deserve to be helped, you can replace it with, I am worthy of support. Or if you think I'm a burden to others, you can replace this with the affirmation, other people in my life want to support me. And finally, if you tell yourself the world would be better off without me, you can replace this dangerous belief with, I have value, it's important that I be here and make a contribution. And you can adapt the affirmation to whatever the negative self-talk is. Now, it's going to take a while for these things to sink in. I mean, if you've been, spending 30, 35, 40 years with this negative self-talk you got from your childhood, you're not going to overcome it in 1 week. This is why I really believe in psychotherapy, because oftentimes, again, it takes another person, like a therapist, to give you the unconditional love, the unconditional support you never had as a child. And that's why the great psychiatrist M. Scott Peck said, all therapy is simply the process of reparenting. All therapy is about reparenting. And boy, I think it's absolutely true. You get to receive from an adult figure who's unconditionally loving and supportive what you never got when you were younger. And finally, because I don't want all you people who isolate to feel bad about yourselves, I will say that sometimes isolating is a good thing. For example, think about nature. Think about what happens when an animal is wounded. What it usually does is it retreats, stays by itself, and lets the healing take place, but that isolation is part of the healing process. So let me give you an example from my own life. When I wrote this script, it was a couple of days ago, it was Groundhog Day. I love Bill Murray. Anyway, he actually did a commercial for the Super Bowl, because it was also Super Bowl Sunday, February 2nd, 2020. And I was invited to go to a Super Bowl party. Normally I would love to do so, but that day I was feeling depressed. I don't know why. I just woke up feeling really bad, and I also felt really vulnerable. And the idea of going outside and being with other people, it felt like I had no skin. I just wouldn't be able to protect myself. The instinct was for me to retreat and stay at home and just read a book. And I suddenly realized, oh my goodness, that's what happens to people with depression. It's like having the emotional flu. When you're sick, you don't want to go anywhere. Well, that's what it must feel like. And me, who usually loves to be around people, that day, I just turned down all the invitations. So I got it. I understand why isolating happens. And sometimes, like an animal who's sick, it's a good thing to do. However, that being said, that you need to balance it out with the need to reach out for help. So if you do suffer from depression, if it's hard for you to reach out for help, if you're normally an introvert, I know it's difficult, but do your best, to ask for help. People are there to support you. I believe what Einstein said, the universe is a friendly place. And, you can start with a friend, a family member, somebody you trust, eventually getting into a support group like the ones I used to run, where you're around other people going through the same thing, like a 12-step group if you're dealing with an addiction. You can build yourself up to it and feel more and more comfortable asking for help. And if you do, you'll be well on your way to recovery. This has been Douglas Bloch. I hope you found the information on this Flashback Friday video helpful. If so, please give it a like, as likes draw more and more people to this channel and hopefully some more subscribers. You can also leave your comments in the comments section or email me, douglasbloch@gmail.com. If you do want to subscribe to this channel, click on my photo in the closing credits. You'll be taken to my subscribe page. And if you click on the bell to the right, you'll be notified every time I do a new video or live chat. And if you want to contribute to this channel and become a patron, simply click on the Patreon image. You'll be taken to my crowdfunding site. And until next video, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Thank you so much.